Welcome to Keep It 100, Oklahoma High School Sport with the Coach Jones Show. How you doing this morning, Coach?
Doing great. You know, we got homecoming today. I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about getting out there and compete again.
Well, Coach, I tell you, last week, man, I went on the show with my man Big E, and we kind of talked about the game, and, I've been all about Dell City, and I picked against you guys last week against against Bishop McGinnis because I felt it was a trap game, and so I betted Big E a burger from a chicken sandwich from Del Rancho.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Coach, I paid up on his chicken sandwich. I paid up on your chicken sandwich. But I tell you, I felt last week's game was a trap game, and it came down to going in overtime. I had picked the score 24-21. You guys ended up winning overtime 27-21. But, Coach, kind of tell us a little bit about that game from last week.
Well, all week we were getting patted on the back. Everybody was excited in the building. The community was excited. The families were excited because Carl Albert, that was a historic win. To be able to beat a program like that and the way we did it, and with all the storylines of Coach Dunn coaching here and the friendship that me and Coach Dunn had, it was a big game. So all week I kind of felt that feeling the same way you did as far as being a trap game, and I told the kids, and I think Bishop McGinnis came out and hit us in the mouth, and we weren't ready, especially offensively. Our O-line didn't play as well at the beginning. So to be able to see our kids mature and respond once they realized the kind of environment, the kind of program Bishop McGinnis was, I think our kids responded in the right way, and they handled adversity and showed that we could be a consistent program week in and week out.
No, Coach, I think it was a great game. There was some great hitting going on. I tell you, at that game, man, at the end of the game, I felt like Bishop McGinnis doing the white flag and just kind of gave up, I knew their tailback ended up going out when their star receivers went out, and then their cornerback kind of got knocked out of the game. And I think Bishop McGinnis was trying to, in overtime, they went for it on 4th and 1. You guys that stopped them on 3rd and 1, they kind of ran the same play.
Yes, sir.
You guys came up with a great defense and stopped them on 4th and 1. And then I felt like, why would you not kick the field goal? Especially them having great kickers in their program, and they didn't kick the field goal. So I was kind of wondering that, but I was thinking that, I just think that's like, let's get out of this game.
Yes, sir.
They're 6A, we're 5A. Now next year we both will be 5A.
Yes, sir.
But so, let's get out of this game and keep some of our guys healthy, because at that point in time, you start losing that many guys, it's hard to go and play the next game.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you, some guys that stood out that game was your quarterback, Virgil Gates. I mean, he stood out 4 touchdowns on the ground. Didn't throw the ball that well, but he had 4 TDs on the ground. So tell us a little bit about him, Coach.
Virgil is a very tough kid. He has a big heart. He's the only quarterback in 6A and possibly 5A that starts a linebacker and plays quarterback. He didn't have a great night in the air, but he responded with his feet and he responded with his heart. He missed some throws in the air that he made against Carl Albert, but he came out, he ran hard. To have 4 touchdowns and have 165 yards rushing, that shows what kind of player he can be, and then to go out on defense and make some good hits, and I think he had a sack as well. So I think Virgil's only going to continue to grow at the quarterback position. I think he is going to give us the play in the air, that's going to help us sustain through the district and not let people load the box with our running game. But I'm excited to see him continue to grow. I'm excited to see him to continue to show the state and show the district that they got somebody to deal with at that position, not only on the run game, but also in the air.
Well, Coach, I see that, Ethan Lawrence is another young man that stands out real well, playing in the secondary and also playing as one of your running backs, along with, Jason Smith. Those two guys right now, two-headed monster. Then you add Virgil to the mix too, so you got a 3-headed monster.
Yes, sir.
And plus, when you can put Caniza there at receiver. But I tell you, Ethan Lawrence is a kid that was over at Westmore, came back home to Dell City where he started at. But tell me a little bit more about him, because I tell you, this kid is going to make some people turn their heads.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Me and his mothers went to high school together, so we have a long history together. As far as I've been knowing Ethan since he was young. Ethan chose to go to Westmore, and I knew what kind of talent he had when he was on junior varsity. When he was here as a sophomore, he scored 6 different ways. He scored it. We had to put him at quarterback because we had some depth issues. So he scored at quarterback, running back, receiver, punt return, kickoff return, and an interception. So I knew what kind of talent we had. And then for him to go on the 6A level and have 700 yards receiving, and then to be able to come over here to Dell City and play running back the way he was, shows what kind of talent he has. This is only his 2nd game. 3rd game playing running back, so I think he's only going to continue to grow, and he's starting to get college attention. He got an offer from East Central last week, so I'm excited to see him continue to grow. And defensively, he makes some big hits. That running back they had, he's a thick kid, he runs hard, and Ethan came downhill and wrapped him up a couple times pretty good. So I'm excited to see him continue to grow, continue to be consistent, and really turn into the player he needs to be.
Yeah, Coach, I say right now, you got one of the best defensive backs in the state. You got an offer last week from Kansas, Caniza. I tell you, I know a lot of people wanted him to come join their school in the offseason. I see why, because he's doing some amazing things, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but I think once you got to get the ball in his hand on offense, he's going to show people, man, he's a two-way player. But I just tell you right now, with your schedule coming up here in the next few weeks with Stillwater, Midwest City, and PC North, I think this guy's going to get a chance to show people who he really is because,
Yes,
I mean, with those big games coming up, I know you got homecoming night. Everybody's excited about homecoming.
Yes,
but I know these next few weeks that you got, your work cut out with these next, 3 big ball games. Not taking that from a nice ball game, but I just tell you, though, I think once people start to see who he is and what he can do, everybody's going to be asking you who number one is. All right, I know he already got some offers, but I just tell you, these next 3 ball games are going to be really, really a factor for him, even getting those bigger offers of the Power 5 offers. So tell us a little bit about, Caniza.
Well, Caniza's an interesting story. We were having some depth issues when he was a freshman, and I came to a freshman practice, and I knew right away, as soon as I seen him do some drills, some defensive back drills, I knew right away what kind of player he was going to be. So he started for us as a freshman. And not only did he start, he made some big plays. And he was tackling well. He was great in coverage. So I knew what type of player he could be. And now he's just confident. When you start as a freshman, and now you're a junior, and you got that type of experience, and then you add the strength that he's gained in the weight room and the speed that he has, because he's also going to, I think he's going to finish as a 100-meter champion and 200-meter champion and lead our relays and track as well. So I think he's only going to continue to grow. I think that he's going to be a Dax Hill type player of the year next year, just because it's going to be his 4th year starting. And when you have that kind of speed and that kind of confidence, it's only going to breed into a great player. And I also think a guy that, we don't talk about a lot on offense that's going to show out is Jaden Foreman. We haven't been able to get him the ball like we want to, but with his frame at tight end, 6'4", 250 pounds, and then you start getting Caniza going and some of our other receivers, I think we're going to be able to sneak Jaden in there and surprise some people because he's a talent. He's got offers from Oklahoma State and Memphis, but for defensive end. But I think once people start to see his skill set at tight end, he's really going to blow up in that position as well.
That's good stuff, Coach. I know you just talked about Foreman. He's one of my next guys I was going to kind of mention. Him and Stoner are the main factors of the defense. But I tell you, a guy that's really been standing out, man, not on the offensive side of the ball, but the defensive side of the ball, is Jason Smith, number 40.
Yes,
I tell you, I know he's been packing a load at running back, and people don't want to hit him. But I tell you, he made a couple of hits last week, Coach. I felt him on the sideline, man. One time, him and Taffy met in the hole, man, and I know Taffy, that might have been the time he might have tapped out and said, hey, Coach, I need to sit out a player too. But I tell you, this guy's starting to get some notification. People starting to wonder who he is, though, because he's a good-sized kid. How big is he, Coach?
He's 6'2", 245. He runs a 4.6, and he's shifty. He's not just a guy that can run you over. He had an interception last week as well. He had a great return. And, I did an interview with the Sports Animal last week and talking to the OK Preps guy. He said Jason Smith is the most underrated player right now, he believes, in the state. So I think everybody's going to really get to know him as we progress into the season. He's very physical, man. I can't tell you how physical he is. He really wanted to set the tone against Bazell. And the first series, like the second play, I think he rattled Bazell a little bit. And then this week he wanted to set the tone with Taffy as well.
Sir.
So he takes pride in that when he goes against these type of teams and those type of players. He wants to show not only those kids, but he wants to show college recruiters that, hey, I'm just as good as them and even better, So as we progress into the district play, I think he's only going to stand out even more because he's a great athlete. He's a freak guy in the weight room. He power cleans 295, benches 285, and squats 450 pounds. So he's a brutally strong kid. And when you see him, he's a man. He looks like a grown man. So I'm excited to see what he's going to continue to do throughout the season.
Well, Coach, like I said, you talk about homecoming being tonight, but, I know you're kind of peaking on the calendar with your next 3 games coming up. You got Stillwater, you got Millwood City, and you got PC North. Those 3 games is going to come to factor who's going to be the district champion.
Yes, sir.
And right now, Dell City is sitting great to become a district championship. And when's the last time they were a district champion?
Honestly, I was thinking about that last night. I need to look that up. Honestly, I don't know. I know we haven't did it since we've been here. So it sets you up in a position to get into the playoffs and be a good seed.
Yes, sir.
And that's what our goal last year. I think we focused too much on the state championship, and we forgot that you got to win district.
You got to win district first.
You got to win district and put yourself in a good position. So. And as far as those 3 games coming up, we do try to take things one at a time, but I would be lying to say that you didn't kind of start peaking at that. And I think the first 3 games of the season and that gauntlet that we had with Booker T, Carl Albert, and Bishop McGinnis is going to prepare us for that.
Yes, sir.
I think those teams kind of compare well to each other as far as like the historic programs, the physicality that they bring. So I think that gauntlet is going to have us prepared because we faced some adversity, with leading at halftime against Booker T and them coming out and having a great third quarter and then winning that game and then being able to respond and beat a program like that as Carl Albert and then be able to win in overtime versus Bishop. So I think we got a little bit of a test on each game, so I think that's going to really prepare us and I think we'll be ready for it.
Well, Coach, like I said, I'm excited. Like I said, the next few weeks I get to watch you And my old former school, Middle City Bombers. I'm always a Million Bomber, baby, but I'm taking care of the Dale City Eagles right now. But I tell you, Coach, with you and Coach Hall, being both African American coaches and doing a great job at your school. You've been a first head coach. Got 2 wins, looking for number 3 tonight. And I just think you got Dale City going in the right direction. And I tell you, the kids are playing great. Like I said, the student body last week and the fans came out and supported the team. So, is there any words you like to say, to any of the community?
Well, I'm thankful for the community. They've been behind us all year. But actually, in the spring, when I got the job, they supported me. They've been by my side the whole process, and also the staff and administrators. They've always supported me, everything I wanted. They're behind the kids in the classroom. They're helping with us academically. We got some study halls set up where we're helping these kids really understand the academic part of it. So I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful for the community, the families, all our friends, and the staff and administrators. They've really been behind us, and I think we're only going to continue to grow as a family. Last week was a playoff atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
It really felt like that. And I know we kept them on the edge of their seats, and I was glad to reward them for their support. So I'm excited to see us continue to blend in and mesh together as a family and go get this district championship.
Yes, sir. Well, I tell you, Coach, you got a great supporter, Ms. Hill, man. I know she loves her Dale City high school football and all sports. You guys do a great job over here. And, dropping down to 5A next year is even going to be really fun to cover all 3 schools, Carl Albert, Millwood City, in Dale City, next year in 5A. But, Coach, I'll tell you, before we end this, though, let's give out some couple awards to some guys that really performed last week in our Sonic Dale City Players of the Week.
Yeah, we're going to start off on offense, and, obviously Virgil Yates. Anytime you score 4 touchdowns, that shows what type of player you are. And anytime you get a sack as well, and then to be able to get the winning touchdown in overtime.
Yes, sir.
So Virgil Yates, that's the offensive player of the week, and I'm excited to see him. We actually want to get the ball in the air tonight, so I'm kind of excited to see what he could do there. Then defensively, Derrick Hampton, he's been playing defensive end. He made a great play on that 4th down on the goal line in overtime.
He did.
He's been playing great. He had 2.5 sacks last week. He had a couple against Carl Albert, then a couple against Booker T. So he's going to be a big-time threat. I think he may get some D1 attention. Right now he has offers from UCO, East Central, Southwestern. And he's playing off theirs. David Stone and Jaden Foreman, everybody talks about him, but he's really the thing that makes us go with his leadership. He's a captain. He kind of keep David Stone and Jaden humble, kind of keep them in the game as well. And then on special teams, our kicker, Stanley Johnson, for years we didn't have that. We had the pooch kick and the teams got the ball on the 35. I always felt like if we can get somebody that could put it in the back of the end zone, I'll put it in the end zone, and teams can start from the 20, the percentages of them scoring go way down. So for him to be able to do that and put it in the end zone each time on kickoff, and then also on extra points, to be consistent and hit it there, because that has cost us in the past because we really didn't have a kicker. So Stanley Johnson for our special team player of the week, and I'm excited to see him continue to grow as well. I think he's going to get some college attention if he continues to do what he's doing, because he's only a junior.
Well, Coach Jones, I'll tell you right now, your staff, you guys, each week y'all are putting together something special.
Yes,
and I just tell you right now, Dale City is humble, man. Everybody knows in the state of Oklahoma that, hey, Dale City's a team you got to be reckoned with, for a 6A state championship. Like you said earlier, you win that district, you're set up good. You got the first 2 games at home. Nobody wants to come to Dale City. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to see that front 4. I'm just telling you right now, and it's something I know we didn't mention a minute ago. In that overtime deal, I felt like when you get down in the red zone, your defense has a 12th man. Yeah. It's like there's a 12th man out there. I'll tell you, they got stingy, they got greedy. Yeah. And it was fun to see that because, man, they wasn't giving up nothing. Yeah. And that's what I think when Bishop kind of threw in the white flags, it's like, man, there's nothing we can do. We can't throw on them. They just get so big and powerful down there, man. It was just amazing to see. But I'm telling you, man, it's exciting to watch this team and watch you grow with this team, though. Yes, and I tell you, it's going to be a fun season and seasons to come, though, doing this show with you, though.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you having Keep It 100.
I want to say one more thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I want to give the staff credit, our offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and assistant coaches, because we just went against 2 historic programs who have coaching staffs that have been together for 10 or plus years. And for us to be together for our first year and be able to come up with schemes and be able to get our players ready to beat them, I'm excited about our future. I think we're only going to continue to grow as a staff.
Yes, sir.
And I'm excited to see us take us to places Dale City has never been.
Well, Coach Jones, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Doing another great show of Keeping It 100, Oklahoma High School Sports. Coach Jones Show, folks. I tell you, tune in every Tuesday. Come out Thursday morning. Me and Big E. You can catch us on Friday mornings with our show. Thanks again for having us on, Coach Jones.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.